Were you about to buy gold? Then stop immediately and listen to what I have to say. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Anecdotal Economist, and we are going to go into an intro in 3, 2, 1. I did the fingers backwards. We'll save it for the next one. But let's get straight into it. I am proposing that you should stop buying gold, at least for the next 5 minutes while you listen to what I have to say. Now, I can't give you advice because whenever I've done that in the past, it ends up getting people into trouble because things always change and my opinion always changes. I don't have a medium-term or short-term opinion about the direction of the price of gold and silver that doesn't change. I only have a long-term, and long-term means very long-term, okay? There are too many things that can interrupt, like, for example, a new president. Now, I have a lot of opinions on what's going to happen, and I am not about to get into all of them, but I am going to say this. I do not think it's clear at all that the things that the current president-elect, I don't think it's clear at all that the things that he's saying he's going to do are going to be achievable by him. So the reason I'm saying what I'm about to say is not because I think the president is completely changing the game, but because, plain and simple, even without him, gold has been on a tear, and I'm about to tell you that I think gold is going to go down in the next 12 months. Now, this is not a prediction of the price. I'm going to do a prediction of the price in December. I do one every year, and I will link back just like I do every year to my previous predictions so you can see how accurate I was or wasn't. And for the most part, I can say with pride, I have been fairly accurate. But what I would like to point out in this case is that gold has been on an absolute tear. And I'm going to pull up a chart in a minute to show you that every time gold goes on a tear like this, it tends to have a very subtle, small pullback, somewhere between 0 and 5%. And when I say pullback, I don't mean like, a 10 or 15% or 5% pullback from the high. I mean for the entire year. In other words, you could see 12 straight months of downward prices. And I don't think anybody is looking forward to that. Now, I'm not saying that I absolutely think that's going to happen, and you need to make your own decisions, but I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, because I can't tell you what you should do. I can only tell you what I'm doing. And I've learned over time that when I tell people what I'm doing, they tend to do their own research, and most often they disagree with me. Where when I tell people what to do, they tend to not actually do what I'm doing. They either react too late or too soon, and they lose money. So I don't like to give financial advice for that reason. But I can tell you what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm continuing to buy my 1 silver ounce per week, as well as some opportunistic purchases of tubes of silver when it makes sense. And I am temporarily suspending my purchases of gold. Now, I will purchase gold in small amounts, okay? So again, opportunistically, when prices line up, I will buy, a quarter ounce here, or perhaps if it was a really good deal, I could buy an ounce of gold. But what I will not be doing is doing my regularly scheduled 1 ounce gold purchases. And the reason for that is there's just too much uncertainty. Now, that could change quite literally at any time. So I am not saying that I won't do it. 2 months from now, I could buy an ounce. So I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm telling you what I'm doing. Now, why? Why would I decide that I'm not going to buy any more gold, even though I have a gold and silver channel? Well, the answer is, I've said this before, if you have no gold or silver, now is the time to buy it. And it does not matter the price, at least not in the last 20 years. There could be a situation where I could say to you, maybe don't buy gold right now, but it would have to be much, much higher than it is. If you have no gold, buy some gold. But if you're like me, and you have a very healthy dose of gold available to you, then by all means, don't buy any for a little while. Wait for those opportunities. And you decide what makes sense for your portfolio, of course. We always talk about on this channel that is the case. But I hope after I show you these charts, you will agree with me that it might be time to slow down or take a pause. By the way, I'd be really curious what you guys think of my new lighting. I really think it's improved things. I took advantage of a Black Friday sale and got a halo ring light. You can see it when I just get the angle right here. You can see that halo in the background. It's got a very good dimming effect, and it makes it much easier to see. And it was very cheap. I think it was like 20 bucks. Came with a stand and everything. So, I mean, you know, hard to beat. If that's what it takes to get a little bit better feedback on this channel, you know, then I appreciate it. And if you guys want to pay for that, all you gotta do is hit the thumbs up or the subscribe button and watch my videos. To be honest, I don't think that that would pay for it, but it would make me feel better. So if I got 20 likes, I'll call that a win. Okay, so let's just take a look at the charts here. And I'm just gonna tell you, I'm gonna be considering going back to my 1 ounce purchases, my regular scheduled purchases, when gold falls somewhere between the 2550 and 2400 mark. If it goes below that, that may or may not be, depending on what's going on, a back up the truck moment. Now next, I just want to show you here, I pulled up in ChatGPT the last 20 years of history. Now take this with a grain of salt because I don't know how accurate ChatGPT is, but this is approximately correct. And what I want you to notice is that whenever there is a huge up year, and huge I mean outsized, so you can see here in 2007 it was 30%, in 2006 it was 20%, in 2005 it was 18%. But after that 30%, it was only 5%. Then it was up 24 and 29, 10, 7, a lot of good years there. But 2013, it was negative 28%, and it kind of kept going down for a while there. Now, if we look at the more recent years, this last year has been close to that 30% outsized gain. And every time we see that 30%, that 3 handle on a percent gain, we see diminished returns. Now, this is not adjusted for inflation. There is a lot to factor in besides simply saying that if there's a 30% increase in 1 year, then it's not likely to go up as much in the following year. And so I don't want to oversimplify things, but I simply want you to say that I think I've mentioned before, I have, you know, multiple indicators that I use to make decisions. And this is simply one of those indicators. We've come off a very hot year, and the probability of there being another equally as hot year is quite low. Now, there is a caveat to that, is that inflation distorts these numbers. We all know that prices have gone bananas. I'm seeing butter for $10 a pound. And granted, it's good butter, but $10 a pound is insanity. Okay, and the same is true of a good deal of other products. There are a lot of things out there. Man, this coin is starting to tarnish. Very interesting. But there are a lot of other things out there that I would say indicate that maybe this run in gold is not as exciting as it might be. But there's a few other reasons I'm bearish on gold over the next year. Because one example is that I do think there's a high probability that we see a turn back to peace over the next 4 years. Now, that is not a guarantee, of course. Absolutely. And if I didn't have a pile of gold to sit on, I would still continue to buy. But because I do have a solid number of gold coins and silver coins, I don't need to buy a large load of gold to protect myself. I already have it. Okay, and now I'm just talking about balancing my portfolio and incremental gains. But I believe there's a strong chance that we could see peace come back like it did some 5 years ago. And if that is the case, well, you need to remember that war is inflationary, and that peace is deflationary. And although gold doesn't trade exclusively on inflation, it's worth noting that if there is peace, less people are likely to buy gold. And who do I mean? Well, there's 3 possible categories of drivers for the price of gold. There are corporations, and I would submit to you that they play nearly a 0% reflection in the price of gold. They buy purely for industrial purposes, and their gold is extremely non-elastic. They basically buy it and immediately use it in whatever products they're making. Then there are governments. Now, they play a huge role, but they will not need gold likely as much if peace comes back, right? They may say, hey, we're in peace times. We're a little bit more okay with the dollar. Now, you can talk about BRICS. You can talk about those other things. Of course, the dollar in the long term is going to go away, but in the short term, peace would not do good things for the price of gold. And I would pray that we get that peace. And then finally, there's people, private citizens. Now, private citizens seem pretty strapped these days, but they are slowly moving into the price of gold, but history shows us that there's hardly anybody that's buying gold, and I think anecdotally I can say that that's not about to change either. So the truth is, I'm just not that positive on gold for the next year. I will do actual prognostications in December, but I would say that over the next 4 years, if you see gold at a lower price, it's a great buying opportunity. That is what I'm going to be doing, is taking advantage of great buying opportunities. I'm going to tread carefully right now. I do not see this as a time to go crazy. I don't think gold is about to explode in price. If it does, great. I will have continued to buy small amounts at opportune times, and I already have lots to sit back on. But if it goes down, that's when I will be interested. And I wanted to share that. I haven't made a video about pricing in a while, and I just thought, you know, people, they get excited and they get very, what would you say negatively excited is, when the price of gold goes up or goes the wrong way. And so I thought it was just time to throw in some 2 ounces worth, you know, some common ounces, common sense. Man, I really do like this coin. Somebody on the channel said they bought one, and I hope they're not disappointed, because man, it is a beautiful coin. It does make me sad that I have it sitting out without the capsule on, because it is going to start to show some signs of tarnishing. But it hasn't so far, I have to admit. It's actually looking quite good. A couple little dust particles on there. I'll have to blow those off, not with my mouth, because that would be disgusting for a silver coin. It would get it all grimy and tarnished. We'll get out the leaf blower and blow everything off. And so with that, it is time to get into the coin review portion of the review. Now, this is actually a gift for my wife. She is a Harry Potter fan, and I have never been willing to buy any of the Harry Potter coins because they are massively overpriced. But I believe this one is made by, it's not official. Maybe it is official, I don't know, but it was very cheap. It was actually like barely over spot. And this is the money in Gringotts Bank, which is a bank in Harry Potter, and it's made of silver and gold, and that's one of the greatest things about that, you know, wizarding story. Great fairy tale. Fun kind of fantasy thing to kind of go into. But the coolest part is their money is gold and silver, and I just think that's great. Any chance where kids and other people are going to be educated on gold and silver is a great time. So if you don't know, there's a dragon here, which is part of the book, and it's saying it's one unum sickle, which J.K. Rowling has been very active these days on the social medias. But she came up with all this stuff. I don't know what else it says on here. There's some kind of wizard guy in a hat. And of course, that's just literally straight up TM. Like, is that? I don't know what that is. Q and TM. I'm assuming that's like copyright stuff. That says 1 ounce 9995 silver. That could be telling me that it's a silver coin, or that could be the silver money from the show. But either way, I thought it was a cool coin. And what we do with these, over the next several weeks, I will be capsulating these in these Christmas capsules. I get a few of these for my family, and they go on the Christmas tree, and at the end of, 20 years, you have a full Christmas tree of silver. And then the kids, they leave at 18. I mean, who knows? I'll probably do it after they're 18, but they leave at 18 with 20 ounces of silver that they can hang on their Christmas tree. And if the house ever burns down or anything ever happens, well, at least they've got some silver at the end of it. Sort of a backup plan, as it were. So I'm going to encapsulate this quickly to show you what I'm talking about, and we will end the video after that. Okay, and very simply, slot in the coin. They do fit very snug. You get these from an American company in Missouri called Airtight Capsules, and I love the fact that they're American. Look how good that looks in that capsule. Very nice. You can get them in red, green, or black. And then what I actually did is I just got some cheap string and a little Merry Christmas tag. I write the dates on here rather than writing it or getting it engraved on the coin. Really quickly, just burn the twine. So it goes through. Don't tread on me, my friends. And just like that, created a little Christmas ornament. I will be doing several of these. I'm not going to package them up every single time, but it is that time of year, so we got to have a little bit of festivity to go with our reviews. So that is going to be the thumbnail. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been The Anecdotal Economist. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I appreciate all the subs. I think our next milestone is 2,100 subscribers, and a milestone that will be. So that's my 2 ounces worth for today. Remember, I'm pulling for you, and we're all in this together.
Kilogram, you're the dragon, you're the rabbit.
Okay, let's look at the money side now. Watch as I pull this bad boy out of here. Absolutely stunning once you get it out of the case. Feeling the weight of this in my hand. Oh, that's such a good feeling.
I never had enough gold.